today I'm going to show you how to cut out your pattern pieces, or actually cut out your fabric. So you have your pattern and you have your pattern directions. You are going to be looking at the cutting layout for teens, adults, for A pants. So what I usually do is I circle this so I know what I'm looking at and don't get confused. Everybody should be doing this one. What I have already done is I have cut out my pattern pieces, and I just want to remind you, you should have cut your notches out this direction instead of cutting them in, which we went over in class. Also, you need to iron these on low. They've been folded in the package and they have deep set wrinkles. If you turn your iron on the lowest setting possible and iron it quickly, you can iron this paper. So I have already done that. And I have already ironed my fabric. So I just laid it out. One of the hard parts about cutting out your fabric is you want to make sure that you have room. So that's why I'm in the hallway. I've got to hurry because these are my stepsons and he's upstairs. So I'm going to try to cut it out before he comes downstairs. But you should have your fabric. Now, the only thing that might be different, and a lot of you picked flannels. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of you picked flannels and they don't have a right and wrong side. This does have a right and wrong side. Okay. If yours does not, just ignore this next part I'm telling you. But you're going to fold it selvage to selvage, right sides together. Your selvage is your fold or your finished edge. Sometimes they have things printed here, but this is the side that did not ravel when you washed it. This edge is where they cut it with scissors when you got however many yards. So I'm going to fold it selvage to selvage, right sides together. I always start from the right and work toward the left. Line it up at the top, shake it out, and lay it down on the floor. And then I'm going to continue on. This part will take you a little bit of time. Another thing you want to be careful about is figure out if your fabric has a top and a bottom. I've had students accidentally cut palm trees upside down, tractors upside down. This one, my dogs are going every direction. So it does not have a top and bottom. Most fabrics do not. But if it does, you want to make sure it's not upside down. Okay, take your time getting this nice and flat. Okay, so I'm going to look at my pattern layout. I've got the fold at the bottom. So here's my fold. I've got the selvage at the top. Here are my selvages. And I've got right sides together. And if I'm starting at the right, I'm going to start with piece one. And the curve is facing the fold. Now, I'm going to show you some things so that you don't waste fabric. We want to make sure that our grain line is parallel to the fold. So this line right here is the grain line. This is how, if you have plaids or stripes, you make sure that they're not tilted. Some fabrics don't matter as much, but I still want everybody to do this. So I'm going to put a straight pin on one side of the grain line. Now, it's better to get it kind of close to the fold. Make sure you catch both layers of fabric. But if I put it right here, I'm wasting all this. So I want to scoot it close to the edge. And I'm going to put a pin in. Your pin should go down and back up. That takes a little practice. And I'm going to measure from the grain line to the fold. Doesn't matter what it is. It's 8 exactly. So I want this to there to be 8 exactly. I'm not going to put a pin in because it's probably not right yet. Okay, this is 8.5. So I need to scoot it down. Okay, that's 8 exactly. So now that I know it's good, I'm going to put a pin on this side so it doesn't move. If any of your parents do anything like woodworking or sewing, you may have heard measure twice, cut once. So I'm going to measure it twice. 8 inches. Oh, I'm off a little bit. Scoot it up, try again. Now I'm good, I think. 8 inches. Okay, so that's good. Now I need to pin around the outside of my pants piece. So I'll show you about how closely together I put the pins. About like this all the way around. Now I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do that, but I will show you how to start cutting. That's what always makes people nervous. You want to cut directly on the line. The neater you cut, the easier your job will be the entire rest of the time. So once I pin it all the way around, I'm just going to cut. But when I get to my notches, I want to cut them out the same way I did on the pattern piece. If you want me to look at the way it is pinned before you cut it out, you can send me a picture of it on Remind. The reminds come through on my phone, so I can check it pretty quickly and say you're good to go on cutting. I'd save this because you can make a scrunchie, a mask, something else with it. Your itty bitty scraps you can throw away. Until I tell you to, I would keep your pattern paper on here, and then I'll give you a video for the next step. Thanks.